We meet again at last. The circle is now complete.
What's the world coming to?
Well, you got a problem with what I did, Anthony?
No. Hey, no.
Fucking rat anyways. Whole family's all rats. Would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe it.
Gee, I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
Now you're gonna dig the fucking thing. You're gonna dig the hole. You're gonna do it. I got no fucking line. You're gonna do it.
Fuck yes, I'll take the fucking hole. I don't give a fuck.
I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was pure and simple evil.
Jesus Christ. Mister, you okay in there?
Put some Vision coffees around here someplace.
Have you any idea what the cost of your actions is? What their effect might be? Or you to give them hope? What do you give them? We give them happiness. And they give us authority. Groovy.
Welcome everybody to the Cinephellas Podcast. It's June 13th, 2017, and I am Chris coming to you live from the library. That's right, I'm back in Los Angeles today, and I'm here as always on behalf of Cinephellas.com, the only place for all your cinephilic needs. I have to admit, some of you out there, you're making me very nervous. I was telling you in a recent episode of the podcast that it's wedding season, you're going to want to be prepared, but still, very few of you have gone to Cinephellas.com to get ready for those long, in-depth conversations that you're going to be having at the wedding rehearsals and the receptions afterwards. You can go to the registry. You can buy your domestic gifts from Pier 1 and stack out those living rooms for your friends. You can spend thousands of dollars to go to exotic locations that you're not even going to be able to really visit. You could do that. You could really do that. And many of us will do that. But wouldn't it be wonderful if you also provided the gift of knowledge? So if you go to Cinephellas.com right now, you'll be the hit of that party. You have all the latest TV and film info, and you're really going to impress the bride's parents. I mean, you heard me say that last time, but you can't underestimate how important that is. And maybe you'll even score a date from the other single person at the wedding. The wedding that I was recently at, there was one other single person, and, well, let's just say that it didn't go as well as planned. But, it's just, you go in and there's so many emotions pumping, and it's a wedding, and it's a wonderful experience, but it can be overwhelming, and it sets you up for really unique relationships with the people that you meet. Let's just say that. So check out Cinephellas.com today and get prepared. If I brushed up on all my Cinephellas info before the wedding, who knows where I would be today. It's never too early to get started. Let's get to the show, shall we? Episode of the Cinephellas Podcast, we have my conversation with Ward Horton. So you've seen Ward, whether you know it or not. You've seen him in several things. You've seen him in Law and Order. You've seen him in multiple Law and Orders, all 75,000 of them. You've seen him in Pure Genius, where he had the recurring role of Dr. Scott Strauss. You've seen him in The Wolf of Wall Street. He was Rothschild broker number 3. He's been in One Life to Live. He's been in Royal Pains. He's been in Elementary. He's been in White Collar even. Remember White Collar? Great show. CSI Miami. What else? I mean, it's just the list goes on and on. We have All My Children as well. Hope and Faith even. 13 going on 30. Several different projects that you've seen at least one of them. I know that. And so today we're going to be talking to Ward about his really deliciously creepy role in the new film Midnighters. But before we do that, how are you? What's going on in your lives? Where are we? June 13th. You know, lately, I think we've seen more than ever the ubiquitous media and its influence. I wake up every morning in a kind of dread, and I know a lot of you feel this way too from conversations that I've had with a lot of people. You feel overwhelmed because you get those notifications on your phone, and you know, this crazy thing happened in the world of politics, or you know, here come the Russians, and then you got James Comey over here, and I've been really concerned about sort of where do we fall? You know, where do we just kind of shut it off? After the election last year, I turned off all my notifications, even the social media notifications. I wanted nothing to do with it. I felt like I needed to just take a step back, and I've tried to slowly reintegrate it in, but it's a lot more comfortable without it, isn't it? Those of you that have tried it. Now, I can't say that I completely detoxed, but, you know, I would like to. Do I? Yeah, I think I do. Sometimes I just want to go live in a cave somewhere and just hang out there for a while and just kind of chill with a fidget spinner and watch the world go by. So many things happen in caves. But anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not too overwhelmed by the media saturation, and I hope life is giving you the riches you deserve. Back to today's episode. So I was really excited to chat with Ward as I was listing his credits earlier. You know, I had seen him in several different projects, and you know, he kind of is typecast as the, and this is unfortunate because he has so much more depth, but up to this point in his career, he's been sort of typecast as this all-American, good-looking guy, and rarely has he been portrayed in negative light. So Midnighters is a chance for him to take on the role of antagonist. And he does a phenomenal job. I think in recent performances, I haven't seen any antagonists quite as multi-layered as Ward's portrayal of his character Smith in Midnighters. So on June 19th, Midnighters makes its world premiere at the Los Angeles Film Festival in the ArcLight Culver City Theater. It's getting a ton of positive press. For instance, Mark Maynard of the Los Angeles Film Festival programming department says the film is uncompromising and intense. First-time director Julius Ramsey has crafted a highly stylized and visually scintillating suspense thriller. The film is really interesting as well for the dynamic that Ward helps create between his character Smith and the lead, Alex Esso, who plays Lindsay. Now, those of you might have seen Alex Esso in Starry Eyes. She's done a ton of other projects. She is phenomenal. One of my favorite performers right now. So I highly recommend seeing the film for both of them. And also look into their back catalogs. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll get to talk to Alex Esso. That would be exciting. So anyway, have a listen to my conversation with Ward Horton about growing up in New Jersey, and how it may or may not have influenced his career as an artist, his attempt to give his characters a little bit of something extra, a little bit deeper, multi-layered appeal, and also what advice he would give to young actors who are just starting out. All right, I will see you on the other side. I am good. Thank you for asking.
I have Ward Horton on the other line for your phone interview.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Put him through whenever you can.
Yeah, I'll put him through now, and you'll have 10 minutes.
Okay, excellent.
All right, Ward, you're on with Christopher.
Hey, Christopher, how are you?
Hey, Ward, how's it going?
It's good, thank you. How's it going for you?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, first thing I want to ask you, I read you were born in New Jersey?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Bardstown.
Yeah, me too. I was born right around
Oh,
the
yeah, what
Brunswick.
part? Oh, okay, gotcha. Nice. Yeah. I lived there till I was about 8, and then ended up moving down to North Carolina, where I spent most of my adolescence before heading up to New York.
Cool.
But I still have a lot of family in that New Jersey area, so I get back there every once in a while.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. One thing that I'm always very curious about is how growing up in New Jersey influenced your desire to become an artist.
How New Jersey influenced my desire to become an artist?
Yeah, if at all.
Yeah, I would say it probably not much. I because I was only there till I was about 8. None of my, I did like little plays and stuff when I was young. I think I definitely enjoyed being on stage and doing that sort of thing when I was a kid. But I would say most of my artistic endeavors started in the North Carolina days, and even later than that. So I wouldn't say New Jersey did. I have some family that's very involved in Shakespeare Festival out there, and so I would say I grew up around it a little bit, but I would say it really took a hold in my time in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fascinating, right? Because New Jersey is one of the states that everything about it is either kind of in relationship to New York or Philadelphia. It doesn't really have an identity of its own, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
no, but there's a lot of I think when I was first started out in New York, I shot numerous short films in New Jersey just because of proximity to the city. You could get the equipment and then move out into the suburbs a little bit. So I did some very, very bad short student films out in New Jersey in my early years when I first moved to New York.
So speaking of your career, right? So I was kind of researching you, and you've done a ton of stuff for only being in the acting world for a short time, but really nothing quite as interesting as the Smith character in Midnighters, I would say.
Yeah, I would say this for me. This is I jumped at the chance to do something like this. First of all, getting to work with Julius and Alston, and when I read the script and saw the character that they were interested in me reading, I was pretty excited because just my look and the history of the characters that I get cast as. I don't get cast as the antagonist very often, and this guy's a creep, man. He's and it's always fun to be able to step outside your comfort zone and play that guy that everybody hates. And so for me, I jumped at the opportunity and really enjoyed it. It was a very creative process working with those guys. They while they ran a tight ship and we made our days and we were had a budget that we had to stick to. There was also room for collaboration. And that's one of the big appeals of working on a more independent, lower budget independent film, in that you get a little bit more say, or at least you feel like you can speak up a little bit more than you might be able to on a studio film or a network television show or something like that. It really lets you spread your wings a little bit more as a creative person, I feel like. And so, kind of the stars aligned and it all worked out, and it was exactly what I hoped it would be on this project.
How do you get in touch with the kind of darkness that's necessary to play a character like Smith?
You can't judge him. I think you have to somehow create a backstory that allows you to somehow believe that what he's doing is right or is justified. While I wouldn't want to admit that I could come up with reasons why he's doing what he's doing, but as soon as you start judging your character that you're playing, then I think you start just playing something rather than being that person. So right from the start, reading him, I had to come up with personal reasons why he's doing what he's doing, and so for me that it allowed, once you've gotten that allows you, then you're just acting like you would any other character. You're just embodying that person and using the script to inform you, and going with it. And then, you know, the physicality of this role was something that I had not done before. And I was very excited to be able to do my own stunts. And I think probably sometimes it wasn't the smartest thing to agree to do those. But for me, that's exciting. I'm an athlete. I love to be physical, and so to be able to, you know, work with squibs and you know, shatter glass and, you know, have extensive fight scenes and take the hits and all of that, to me that was really, really exciting. And hopefully it adds to the credibility of the film in those scenes when you have the actor actually doing it. I felt bad for my stunt double, because I think he cut his hair to look like me, and I don't think he really got to do anything, but I was determined to do it myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, those scenes are really interesting. So the chemistry that you have with Alex Esso's character, Lindsay, is so integral to the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was your working relationship like with her, and how did you sort of bring that calm, non-judgmental aspect of how you portrayed Smith to those very, very intense scenes that you had with her?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the mistakes that you can make as an actor is you see a guy like this and you think that he's got to be scary and mean and angry and all of that. And I don't think that always works. I think most of the time those people, they're not trying to be anything. They're just like we talked about a second ago. If you believe that what you're doing is right or justified, then you don't need to push anything. It is what it is. And so I could just try to be a normal person with her. And, you know, and I think the ease of it is what I hope makes it a little bit scarier, that it is really easy for him to do what he does. And it also, I hope, brings out some humor in it too, right? I think any really good kind of scary horror or something has elements of laughter and absurdity, and yeah. So I think that in working with Alex, you know, she's a wonderful actress and very vulnerable. And you know, most of the time that a lot of the time that I was dealing with her, she really couldn't respond to me except through her eyes because she's kind of bound up. But she gets a lot through those eyes and in the response. And I felt like we had a good working relationship, and we gave each other what we needed to kind of get through those scenes, which are tough. You know, they're physically demanding and emotional, and you know, and especially for her, what she's going through in those scenes.
Hi, I'm so sorry to cut in, but we have to do the last question, please.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, just to wrap up, I think you did that really nicely in bringing that kind of dark humor, and you gave that character so many levels, because it's, you know, it's very easy to see that character being, you know, kind of a straightforward, stereotypical villain type, but you give it so much more.
Yeah.
Right? And so
well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, great. And I think a lot of people are going to respond to that as well when they see the film. So last question for you is just, I'd like to know, do you have any advice for young actors that are just beginning their careers?
Say yes to everything. I think that's the most important thing. Try not to, you know, just get yourself involved. I think especially when you start getting a little bit of success, it's very easy to say, oh, I don't think that's worth it. But I think that every project that you work on, every character that you take on, you're going to learn something. You're going to take something from it. And yes, you might get into some production experiences that are as good as others, but you learn from those. So yeah, and also just keep at it. Don't give up because things aren't going well. Try to work as much as you can. Create your own work. Probably stuff they've all already heard, but you know, it definitely is worth hearing again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always great to have that kind of positive reinforcement, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to talk.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot, Christopher.
All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
We met back east where the ivy grows. You were the stranger in town. I was the one the department chose. and I got all the numbers down. Together we tried to conquer apathy. We were armed only with books. They wondered at our security, firing quizzical looks. It was a long
All right, so what'd you think?
to that beach
I know it
cafe.
was quick, right? I
Out
remember
there
looking
in
at the clock and thinking, oh wow, that was 10 minutes already that went by with my conversation with Ward. But the appeal of the film is its Hitchcockian elements. It has a deep kind of psychological mystery and thriller element too that I think a lot of the Cinephellas fans are going to respond to, given a lot of the other material that we cover at the website. So please check it out when it hits theaters. It's coming soon. Let's see, do we have dates here? No. It'll be out shortly after the premiere on June 15th. That's a press and industry screening, and then after that it will go wide. Alright, everybody. That's it for this edition of the Cinephellas Podcast. I am Chris, telling you, or suggesting to you rather, that you share a movie with someone you love, and I will see you next time.
One Jersey night you sat with me at the bar that we called an altar. It was a long way from the beach cafe out there in Malibu. It was a long way from that beach cafe out there in Malibu.